This should come up unless if you go forward it shouldn't. Around the tires. Lift it up. Lift it up.
Hey folks, I've had this Versa trailer now for a couple of seasons, and if you remember, or if you happen to have seen, I did a video when we first bought this Versa trailer, and we've had a couple of people send me some messages and they wanted me to do a more in-depth review on it, and I've only had it for a couple of seasons so far, so I don't know how good of a review I can really do. We haven't used it a whole lot in that time, but I'll show you my first impressions on it and what I think about it so far. Guess I'll start with the things that I like about this Versa trailer. I like the tongue jack that's on it. Tongue jack right here. I like the way it folds up so it's out of the way of rocks and stumps and uneven terrain. I like this swivel here on the coupler. That helps a lot in uneven terrain. Now, we purchased this trailer with the Pro package, and that includes these extended pieces here on the box, and I like those. That's real nice for brush. The boom is fairly handy for heavy items, big logs and things. I like the way it dumps and you can empty it. I like that it has a tailgate on both the front and the back. It's held on here. These little cammed switches here, I don't know what you call them, but they're also adjustable. You can tighten them or loosen them depending on what you need. I like those. The tailgates come off easy, front and back. You can see it's the same setup here in the back. You have these two toggles on both sides. The hinge, all it is just an L hinge, one on each side, and it just you just fold the tailgate down and slide it to the left and it comes right off. I have found the suspension on this to be very good at going over rough terrain. I've gone over some pretty high things that I think I would have probably hit with the tractor, actually, on the undercarriage of the tractor. And these went right over it without too much trouble. Also, because of the boom, you have these stabilizers, and those, they work pretty well. They help stabilize it for heavy items when you're lifting. I like that the bed comes off and you can just use it for logs. As you saw, we were putting the bed on, and that came in handy when we were just doing some decent sized logs. Well, that's what I do like about the Versa trailer, and now I'll go over some of the things that I'm not too crazy about. Now, I've owned this Versa trailer now for 2 seasons, and last year, or last winter, I kept it completely tarped. You saw in the beginning of the video how I had it tarped, and I usually leave it tarped like that. In fact, while I was building the foundation for the equipment shed that we're building, I stored my cut-off sonotubes in here, and I kept the tarp over the Versa trailer, and with the boom and everything, it helped shed the snow and the water, and it worked good for that. But regardless of being only a couple years old and being tarped, I'm still getting some rust here. Now, this does not see a lot of weather because of that tarp. I know tarps aren't as good as a garage, but I'm kind of disappointed with that rust coming through. They have this coated. I don't know if this is I'm assuming it's just a paint, but it may be galvanized. I'm not 100% sure of the finish. But it kind of makes it look like aluminum, and it's not. That's a little disappointing. The winch, well, I don't really know what to say about this. It seems kind of rinky-dink, to tell you the truth. Got this switch here, and it shows you the position of the switch for how you want it to run the cable. My first impressions on this winch is it's probably not going to hold up for very long. I could be wrong, but it just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't give me a sense of quality. The cables were a little short for my application. They shrunk up on you.
Didn't we try this out once?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably what it is. Didn't have it on the time. I'm not gonna get it. It's this.
Yeah.
I had a different way to hook it up last time.
Yeah.
Cut these zip ties, yeah, so you can get it direct.
I'm running this behind the subcompact Kubota, and I almost don't have enough. I don't think I could run the winch. If the cables are an inch shorter, I don't think it would work. So it just barely makes it. The box, although it's nice to have the box, comes on and off. You saw it took two of us, and granted we've only done this a couple of times, so we really don't have a system down, but it wasn't easy. It was kind of complicated. The box is not real heavy, but just heavy enough to make it a struggle. It actually comes off easier than it goes on, of course, but it is doable with two people, but I wouldn't want to do it by myself. The boom. The boom can be handy, but you have to have it in just the right position in order to lift this box up and dump. You can see we've got the hook there, and it comes down to that U-shaped piece of steel down there on the floor. It hooks onto that, and the winch just dumps this body up. But if you don't have this boom up high enough, this hits. So you have to let it down, and you have to adjust your boom with these chains. Now, in and of itself, that's not too big a deal. What I plan on doing in the future is I'm going to probably take a zip tie, and I'll figure out exactly what link on this chain has to be back here in order for the boom to clear the box, or the box to clear the boom, however you want to put it. And I'll just put a zip tie on that link so I know. But it would be nice if they had a way, right from the factory, to let you know where to put that. I guess that's pretty much all the cons that I can think of. Now this Versa trailer is advertised to be usable behind an ATV. I'm running it behind a subcompact Kubota. This is a B7100. I believe it's rated at 13 horsepower, but I'm not 100% sure. It might be 16, but whatever. It works very well behind this tractor. This tractor has no trouble whatsoever with this trailer. I do have an Eiger 400. I would not want to run this trailer behind that with anything more than just light brush in it. I think it's a little heavy for a small ATV. Now if you have a good size side-by-side like a 1000 or something like that, or even one of the bigger ATVs, you'll probably be okay. But I definitely think it's a little too much for a smaller ATV. So I guess you're probably wondering, given the pros and the cons on this trailer, would I buy it again? I think I would. It's pretty handy tool. So far it's worked out, you know, pretty decent for what we've had to do with it. My wife really likes it. It helps her a lot in moving brush around. She does a lot of clearing and dragging brush and burning it, and this saves her a lot of trips back and forth to the burn pile, and you know, that works out pretty good for that. You know, the few cons that I mentioned about it, can't really complain too much about those. You know, there are more durable trailers of this type you can buy, but they're considerably more expensive. And I think for the money, and so far I'm pretty happy with it. So I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I give it about an 8. You know, pretty happy with it overall. And I think it was a fair value.